Hey, love, welcome to Talk to Her Nice podcast. In today's episode, we're going to talk about finding peace when you're kind of in that in between in life where it's like you're happy to have achieved what you've achieved so far, but then at the same time, you're still chasing certain goals that you have. This has just been something that's been super relevant for me lately because I'm like a go-getter and I can't help it. I constantly am striving to be a better version of myself in some aspect of my life, but sometimes I find that it does make it challenging to fully embrace what I have going on in this moment. If you're actually a hard worker, then you can definitely relate to this episode. Can we just all collectively take a moment and give ourselves a pat on the back for getting as far as we have in life? I have to be so conscious of reminding myself, Ladette, look at what you have done for yourself. Look at what you have accomplished. It's literally okay for you to sit down, to relax, to have a day off. It's okay to fully embrace the reality that you have in this moment. Sometimes I just feel like I'm constantly striving to accomplish that next goal that I forget to like really be happy in the now. I'll forget to truly live in this reality that I've created for myself because technically this reality is a reality that I dreamed of having years ago. And I'm sure that I'm not the only one who experiences that or feels that way. The reality that you have now, I'm certain that some aspect of it, there's a version of you who could only dream of having the things that you have right now. And that's why I think it's so important for all of us to learn how to have that balance of really being happy and grateful for what we have now, but not abandoning the goals and the dreams that we have, because obviously those are important too. And I think that it's really healthy to have something that you're working towards, something that you want to achieve, something that's going to make you a better version of yourself. But it doesn't mean that we can't really appreciate what we have going on while we're in the process of attracting the things that we want to attract. So in today's episode, I want to talk about a couple of main things. One of them is how we can draw more into our life when we're coming from that place of gratitude. I'm going to share a tangible homework assignment that all of us, including myself, can do, an affirmation to close, and a thought-provoking question to leave you guys with. So let's jump straight in. Okay, y'all. Lately, my experience of being in that in-between has been enlightening, and it's definitely reminded me that I have worked really hard to achieve what I have right now. And it kind of came up for me the other day when I was looking at my vision board because I have all these things on there that are obviously important to me, like having a home for myself, being able to grow my podcast, my YouTube channel, just being in better health, all that stuff. And when I look at my vision board, I genuinely see that I have created such a beautiful life for myself. And even though I haven't accomplished everything on there, I just had this moment where I was like, when is it going to be enough? When is it going to be enough for you to really allow yourself to feel the peace that you want to feel, the satisfaction, the happiness? And I don't know, I couldn't even answer that question. I sat there and I was like, damn, I don't know, when is it going to be enough? Because I'm constantly trying to level up and it's honestly exhausting. It's really freaking exhausting. And I just had to be honest with myself, like, how can I allow myself to be in a place where I can be the happiest version of myself, but also still pursue the goals and the dreams that I have? Because growing the podcast is obviously important to me. I'm not where I want to be in that scenario. But then I look at the fact that I just signed a contract for my first home. I paid off all my debt. These are all things that were on my vision board. And so it's like, I got to learn how to be able to create that outcome emotion that I'm looking for, which I think that's what a lot of our goals are based off of. So whatever thing that you want to happen in your life, it's likely tied to an emotion that it's connected to love, peace, freedom, the main like universal emotions that we all want to feel. But why can't we be in the in-between right now? Why can't we allow ourselves to tap into those emotions right now while still pursuing the goals that we have? Because yeah, would it be worth it if we achieved everything? Probably not. Then what? I feel like, I know for speaking for myself, I would be bored. If I accomplished every single thing that is on my vision board, all the goals that I have, all my aspirations, I honestly feel like life would be slightly meaningless because then what are we working towards? So I think, yes, being in the journey does make it worthwhile. So if I'm going to be in this journey where I'm wanting to improve myself in one way or another, not out of self-hatred, but out of self-love, then I just gotta be okay with letting myself feel happy with where I'm at. I just had that moment of realization of like, hey, you ultimately want to feel freedom. How about let's start tapping into that emotion more often, even though there's still other things and other aspects of my life where I haven't quite created that freedom yet. I can still tap into that freedom while still pushing my content out, while still pursuing wanting to reach 1,000 people, 2,000 people on my podcast. So that's just like the realization that and it's honestly been helping me lean more towards gratitude in my life. Literally, 18-year-old me would be geeked out if she saw the life I created for myself. And that is my reminder and my sign to appreciate the life I've created for myself. And I want to ask you the same question. What aspects of your life is there an older version of you that would have been like, oh my God, you did it? You literally did it. I think we get so lost in our vision for the future that we forget that this current moment at some point in the past was the dream that we had for our life. And when we can bring it back to that old version of us, it really does help to appreciate this moment. Which brings me into the next thing that I wanted to talk about, that we draw so much more into our life when we're coming from that place of gratitude. So if you can sit there and find the things in your life that in this moment you genuinely are so grateful for, you open yourself up to allow more things to flow into your life. And it's funny because I'm sure we all know this, that when you're in that state of being happy, when you're in those higher frequencies, you're just receptive to receiving more things in your life, and especially things that match that same level of energy. So I just wanted this to be your reminder and my reminder that we need to just let go of the control to have our life be perfect and play out a certain way, because it's not going to even happen like that. Life feels so much more abundant, peaceful, and in flow when we just let go, when we just stop obsessing over our timeline and things having to happen by a certain date or a certain way. And I think the easiest way to have more gratitude and to be in that state of being in flow and opening yourself up is to just start with where you're at. Start with what you've already attracted into your life. So this goes into our tangible homework assignment. I'm going to do this myself, but what are things in your life right now that you have attracted that an older version of you could only have dreamed of? I want you to think about every aspect of your life. So as soon as I'm done recording this podcast episode, believe that your girl is going to sit down and I'm going to think about my relationships, my friendships, romantic relationships. I want to think about my career. I want to think about my health. I want to think about my finances, where I live, just every literal aspect of my life. And I'm going to think about what I have going on. I'm going to list out what I'm grateful for. I'm going to list out what areas that I'm looking to improve, what areas I'm looking to expand in. But I want to just do a full assessment of my life. So I want y'all to do the same. Just look at every aspect of your life and then focus on what parts of your life are going incredible. What parts of your life are you so happy about? What parts of your life are you just like, oh my God, this is something that I either wrote about, something I envisioned, this is something I prayed about, it's something that I asked the universe for, and it has manifested. That is where genuine gratitude stems from. I see it all the time online where people will say, oh, just be grateful, like tap into your gratitude, what makes you happy? And sometimes it's just not that easy. Sometimes it feels like you're lying to yourself. If you just pick a random thing and you just say you're grateful for it, but you don't deeply feel it, then that doesn't do anything for you and it doesn't serve you any justice. But when you can actually go back and do a full assessment of your life and really pick out the thing that, oh my God, I literally prayed about this at one point in my life, that's going to be the thing that pulls at your heartstring of like, I am actually genuinely so grateful for this. And something that I can think about is how literally a year ago, y'all, I was struggling. I moved back home to my parents last year, and it's because I had so much credit card debt. I couldn't keep up. And one of the things I put on my vision board was to be debt free. And now a year later, I don't have credit card debt. And when I think about what I'm grateful for, that's one of the things that come up. And I genuinely actually feel the gratitude for it because I can just remember the struggle of having that debt to then now being in a position where I don't owe anyone any money. And that feels so good. It feels so freeing and so liberating. So pick the things in your life that you are grateful for that come from a meaningful place to you. That's what we can lean on right now. Let's find the things that we're so happy about, and then let's lean on that. So when we're finding ourselves in these moments of, I'm not where I want to be yet, think about where you're at right now. Think about how far you've made it. Honestly, y'all, I've been having to ask myself some tough questions lately and just pinpointing what makes me be such a hard worker. Because for a long time, that was like an asset and a characteristic of mine that I was proud to have. Like, yeah, I am a hard worker. I don't give up. I put myself out there. And I think that that's amazing. But at the same time, what am I chasing so hard? And that's something that I want you to ask yourself too. If you're just as hard of a worker as I'm sure that you are, like, mm, ask yourself, why do I work so hard? What is it that I feel like I'm trying to attract in my life that I don't have right now? Because I can tell you right now, you're already whole and complete, and that there isn't anything out there that can make you feel the things that you can already access within yourself. And I have to remind myself that all the time. I already feel love. I already feel happiness. I already feel peace. So that is the thing that I want to remind myself, that when I'm showing up to create content, when I'm showing up to go to the gym, whatever I'm showing up for, it's not because I'm trying to chase anything. I already have all the feelings that I want to have within me. Because again, that's what a lot of our goals are about. We're all achieving something one way or another for an emotion, but we don't have to chase that emotion. We can tap into that emotion. And that's why today's episode is literally all about finding that in between. Like, how do we allow ourselves to feel those emotions and those feelings while not abandoning those things that matter to us and still putting ourselves out there to accomplish the things that are important. So there's definitely some things that I know I still need to sit with and work through, because as much as I know that I can create those emotions for myself, as grateful as I am to be literally where I'm at right now, I still personally feel some resistance when it comes to working less, when it comes to doing less for the podcast and not working as hard. So I am right there with you. And that's why I said this is going to be our tangible assignment, because there's work to do here. But yes, you guys, please just take the time today or at some point this week to do just like that assessment of your life and just pinpoint some areas that you are really happy about, that you have created some sort of outcome that was literally a goal of yours years ago or months ago. Maybe it's your love life, maybe it's your health, maybe it's your career. But what is it that you've genuinely created that you really are happy about? The next time you're obsessing over wanting to create some sort of outcome in your life, remember that. Because it's one thing to sit here and do the work and remind yourself that you are genuinely grateful for XYZ, but it's totally different if you're not having the awareness to remind yourself in those tough moments that no, I'm allowed to be happy with where I'm at. I am not chasing anything. I'm pursuing goals that are important to me because they matter, not because I hate my life, not because I hate the current reality I'm experiencing. So part of this is reframing your thinking, which, by the way, is why we changed the podcast name to Talk to Her Nice Podcast, because it's literally about catching yourself in these moments and changing what you're saying to yourself. Okay, so we're going to end with a couple of affirmations, because that is something that I still really love about formerly known The Affirmation Podcast, is just ending on a positive note. So let's get into it. You can place your hand over your heart. We just have 3 of them. I fully embrace the beauty of my life right here, right now. Embracing this moment doesn't mean I'm abandoning my dreams. I choose to feel peace regardless of what happens around me. Alrighty, you guys. 3 very simple affirmations. I hope those hit for y'all, because they're hitting for me. And these are the affirmations that I am going to remind myself when I'm being hard on myself. So I'll have them in the description. You can feel free to take a screenshot of it. That could be the thing that you do to build that awareness whenever you are being hard on yourself, or whatever other loving, nurturing thing you need to say to yourself when you experience those moments. And before we close out today's episode, I have a thought-provoking question that I want you guys to either journal about, write about, think about it, whatever. But make sure you sit with this one, and I'm going to do the same. What prevents you from being able to fully enjoy this moment? I'm not going to explain that. We don't even have to have any sort of context around it. Just based on the conversation we had today, or whatever comes up for you when you ask yourself that question, I just want you to sit with that one. And if you feel inspired to share it with me, I would love to hear from you guys. You can text the podcast. You can also message me on Instagram. I would love to hear from you. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.